I'm very nervous, feeling of insecurity, but I'm going to be focusing on what I need to do to him, and as I'm walking, I'm going to gain confidence, and once I'm going to step into the octagon, I'll be 100% confident and ready to go for the title shot.
What kind of challenge does this guy present to you?
There's a lot of challenges, very well-rounded, very smart. He adapted himself very well to any style of fighter. But I'm going to take care of business November 17th.
Is there...
George, lots of athletes talk about not being in game shape after coming back from an injury layoff. For yourself, how do you judge that? How do you assess that?
It's a long layoff, but my confidence comes from how I prepare myself in training, and I train very hard, and I prepare myself very well.
George, I remember when you suffered your knee injury, you were not a happy camper, but it seems like it was maybe a blessing in disguise. Can you talk a little bit about how you rediscovered your love for the sport over this break?
Yeah, I was kind of in a routine, I was doing a lot of things wrong in my training, but I try to please everybody, try to make everybody happy, and sometimes when you change things, people get unhappy, and I hate disappointing people. But now the fact that this injury is never good, but the fact that the injury happened, now it makes me very happy. I changed my schedule, changed a lot of things in my entourage in my life, and I came back with a new motivation, like a fire. I have more love for the sport.
Was there anything that you did with your time that was a little bit different? I mean, did you get into meditation or anything that you...
Well, I had a lot of time, I love paleontology. I was studying a lot of paleontology and things like this, but I was outside of my home. I was in Los Angeles by myself, so I was very lonely for a long period of time. But I had time to add a lot of time with myself and to know what I needed to do to get back on track.
Are you a bit of a philosopher as well? Because you tweet some Nietzsche quotes from time to time.
I love philosophy too. I think it's part of the game. To become a good martial artist, you need to think about stuff like this sometimes. Make you develop as a martial artist.
You talk about being bullied when you were younger. Can you just talk a bit about how you think that's affected you now as a fighter? Do you still carry it with you? Is it still something you think about?
I carry it with me, but it's part of it's who I am. And right now, I try to encourage the people that face the same adversity in their life to keep their heads up.
Whether the fans are cheering for me or they're booing me and cheering the other guy, I like the energy, I like the intensity, and it's something that I feed off.
Must have been something you said, this works against you in some way.
I don't think so. Honestly, when I fought in my hometown, it was probably the most nervous I've ever been, the most pressure I've ever felt. When I fight in somebody else's hometown, I feel like it's my fight to win. No pressure. I just get to go out there and perform to the best of my ability, and not worry about anything else.
Where is he dangerous?
George. George's dangerous everywhere. I mean, he's got phenomenal stand-up. Some of the best wrestling in the sport, and his jiu-jitsu and his ground and pound are amazing. So George he's a champion, and his accomplishments are definitely they're there for a reason. He was one of the best in the world, so I definitely have a tough task ahead of me.
You're obviously the underdog in this fight. How does that make you feel? Is it something you're okay with?
Yeah, in my head going into any fight, I feel like I'm the underdog. I feel like I have nothing to lose. I get to go in there and and be the spoiler for George's return fight. So for me, it's just I get to go out there, have fun, and do what I like to do.
Everybody talks about GSP's return. It's been 19 months, but you as well have been out for kind of a long period, 9 months. Do you feel you come back too? Is it a comeback for you too?
No, I wouldn't call it a comeback. I fought a title fight at the beginning of the year. I'm fighting now towards the end of 2012. If I do beat George, probably most likely 2 fights in a year is what I'm going to be looking at as the champion. So I don't think it's any different. I don't expect to have some advantage, or for him to be any weaker, because if I count on that, then I may have a surprise in store. you know, I'm just gonna go out there and, like I said, focus on, you know, being the best fighter that I can be on the 17th.